Good afternoon, children. Now we are going to see the second poem, The Grumble Family by Lucy Maud Montgomery. The poetess name is Lucy Maud Montgomery. Now you see the title of the poem, The Grumble Family. What do you mean by grumble? You are never satisfied with anything, whatever is done for you. You grumble, you keep on finding fault is known as grumbling. You are never satisfied. That is the meaning of the title, The Grumble Family. The poet gives a vivid picture, very clear picture of neighborhood scenes. Read to know how we should mend our ways. Now this poetess tells us that how we should live our lives. We should never complain and keep on grumbling and make others feel unhappy and lose their peace. Here the poetess stresses about the importance of happiness and cheerfulness, how we should be cheerful and happy in our life. Even if things are not going right, if they go wrong also, we should keep up our spirit and never grumble and never be dissatisfied. We should take life as it goes on. That is the moral taught by the poetess through this poem. We have to take everything in an optimistic or positive attitude so that our life will become very smooth and we will be filled with complete happiness and joy. Now I read the first stanza of the poem. There is a family nobody likes to meet. The first line itself, the poetess stresses, there is a family that lives in that place. That family nobody likes. That means the people around that family never likes to meet them. See the attitude the people, the neighborhood people have developed towards that family. So we can see the qualities of that family. They live, it is said, on complaining street. The people there say that is always they complain about everything and anything. So the street is named as complaining street, not an ordinary street like Patel Road, MR Nagar, Kattaboman Street, not ordinary street names, but the street name itself is complaining street. In the city of never are satisfied. In that particular street, this family is never satisfied with anything. The river of discontent beside. So they say a river that goes by that side is also discontent. They look at the river also becomes discontent. They growl at that and they growl at this. Growling means to keep on talking about loudly and complaining about others' qualities always is. They growl at this, they growl, finding fault, always finding fault, and they are never satisfied with any good things they have. Whatever God has given us, the good things that we have in our life, they never see to that. They keep on grumbling and grumbling what is not with them. That is a very bad attitude people have. People have this quality. Many people have this quality. They keep on complaining that I don't have this, that I don't have that. They look at their neighbors and they feel jealous of their neighbors. See how they are living, how I am living. The comparisons, that is known as grumbling. Whatever comes, there is something amiss. Whatever, even if happiness is there is something wrong in that family. People could not find out what is the fault in that family. What is going wrong in that family, the people could not understand. Why this family particularly is finding fault and always complaining and grumbling and growling. As soon as they say anyone, they just pass comments. They growl at them. They feel jealous of them. This is the quality. So nobody is able to understand what is the problem, what is the defect in this family. Whatever comes, there is something amiss, there is something wrong. Amiss means wrong. There is something wrong in this family. People of the neighborhood find that there is some problem in this family, and whether the station be high or humble, whether they are rich or poor. High means very high position, whether they hold on high status high positions, or even if they are poor, they are all known by the name of Grumble. The whole family is called as grumblers. The neighborhood people call them as grumblers. They don't call them by their names. They call them by the name grumblers, because keep on stressing the word grumbling, grumbling, grumbling. So they are called as grumblers. The weather is always too hot or cold. Even if the whether it is a summer season or a winter season, even if it is summer, they grumble. If it is winter or cold, they grumble. So how to satisfy these people? The people, they cannot understand. If it is a sunny day, they grumble. If it is a rainy day, they grumble. If it is a cold day, they grumble. So what is the problem? They could not understand. Summer and winter alike they scold. If summer comes and winter comes, they keep on scolding the weather. They even don't leave the nature. They keep on grumbling at nature. Nothing goes right with the folks you meet. So whenever you meet this family, nobody can understand what is the problem in that family. So folks means the people. When you meet these people, this particular family people, the people cannot understand what is the defect and what is the problem with this family they have. Down on the gloomy, complaining street. Gloomy. The family is not a lively family. It is a gloomy family. When you look at their faces, they all have a glum face. You can see people, they never smile. Some people, they never smile. They have always a gloomy face, having all the worries. Completely, they will carry all the worries on their head, and they will never smile at anyone. Their face will look very gloomy. Such people, when we face, we feel very sorry for them. Whether they feel sorry, but the people who meet them will feel very sorry. They say, why this man or woman is always so gloomy? Why they are having such a hangover over them? We cannot understand. So what life teaches is, leave the worries. Take the work as it is given to you. See that the day is completely filled with joy and satisfaction. Here the poet says very clearly how a human being should live in a life. Always complaining means that will become a tragic life. The person who has that quality of grumbling and not satisfied with anything is leading a very tragic life. His life will become a tragedy. He can never be known, or he can never become popular among the masses. That is what the poet says. Whatever God has given us, we have to be satisfied, and we have to lead a contented life. That means whatever is given, we have. When we take some poor people, you'll have them, you'll see their families always laughing, always having such laughter and happiness, and they make the people who sit around them also feel happy, even though they don't have a single pie to fall for the next minute. They don't have good food, they don't have good clothing, they don't have a good home. But even then, they keep the others happy, as well as they also feel happy with what they have. Whether it is one square meal, they are happy that God has given that one square meal. People who have everything, that is all the three, morning till night, whatever they receive, they are not satisfied. They keep on saying something, some fault, they find some fault or the other. That those people can never be satisfied in their lives till they die. They carry on this attitude, and they will never make the others happy also. So the people around them will move away from such person. They don't like that person. When they see such person who always have negative thoughts and always grumbling and feeling jealous of others, when they see, they move away from such people, and they want to be away from them. That is what the poet here says. When you see such people, you move away from them. You never have any contact with those people, where you will lose your peace of mind. The peace of mind is completely destroyed by the way they talk, their attitude, the way of life they lead. Everything will be destroyed by them. So we have to have our inner peace, and everything must go on right with us. Do you understand? So here, from the first 3 stanzas we say that first 2 stanzas I taught you. They are known by the name Grumble. They keep on grumbling, so the people around them call them grumbling family. They are nicknamed as grumbling family. Even though they attach a family name to themselves, they don't have that family name. They are called as grumblers. Now you people understand, you give a nickname to any of your friends. That name is forgotten by you and you call that nickname for that boy. The boy gets angry. So the same way the grumbling family, though they have a family reputation and a name, they are forgotten and they are called grumbling family or grumblers. The 2 stanzas, first 2 stanzas explains very clearly about the nature and attitude of these people who live in that house. The weather is always too hot or cold. Summer and winter alike they scold. They scold weather also. So they scold the weather and they say what summer is, what heat we cannot bear. When summer disappears and winter sets in, they are not able to receive winter also. So both are alike for this particular family. Nothing goes right with the folks you meet. Whenever you meet these people, the family you meet, the grumbling family meet, nothing is going right with them. Everything goes wrong with them. Drown on that gloomy complaining street. So they don't want to go to that complaining street and they don't want to meet such people in that complaining street. They growl at the rain and they growl at the sun. Again the sun, the winter, the nature is repeated here, summer and winter. They growl at the rain. Very clearly they say when it rains they grumble. When they see the sun, they grumble. In fact, their growling is never done. It never comes to a stop. Everything, whatever they see, whatever they do, whatever others do, whatever they see, whatever they hear, everything is a grumbling fact for this family. They are never satisfied. And if everything pleases them, there isn't a doubt, they growl that they are nothing to grumble. Even if there is nothing there to grumble, they will grumble at nothing. Why there isn't a topic to grumble? They will grumble at that also. So such depressed family, you can say that grumbling family has some faults and they are always depressed. They are not happy in how they live a life, how they lead a life, how the children are. They never take care of their family. That is why the problem is, some of the times they would idle. An idle man's brain is the devil's workshop. So these people must be idling their time. They have no work except the work of grumbling. But the purest thing, the strangest thing is that not one of the same can be brought to acknowledge his family name. Not one person in the family is called by the family name. Now you know very well, everyone has a family name. Your forefather's name, that will be coming down to all the children in the family. But not in this particular family, there is not one person is called by the family name. Anyone who passes that side will call that boy a grumbling family. He belongs to this grumbling family. He is a grumbler. So even everything goes wrong there because of the persons who are not in a positive attitude. For never a grumbler will own that he is connected with it at all, you see. So he doesn't own a family name at all. He is known as the family as grumbling family. In general, they are called as grumblers. The worst thing is that if anyone stays among them too long, he will learn their way. The tragic part is, if anyone goes and stays with that family, they will inherit the qualities of the grumbling family. That is the tragic part. So no one is willing to stay with this particular family because they are afraid whether they would get that attitude of the grumbling family. So they want to avoid this family and they want to move away from them. And before he dreams of the terrible jumble, he has adopted into the family of Grumble. After entering into the family, he becomes, when he learns that he is grumbling always, he is afraid whether he would get that quality also. He wanted to go away and doesn't want to make his life a mess. jumble. He doesn't want to make his life a miserable life because of this family. So nobody wishes to step into this particular family, the grumbling family. And so it were the wisest to. So the poetess here says in this stanza, it is wise for us to keep our feet wandering into that street. If you see that family in that particular street, don't ever enter, she says. Don't ever enter that street. Then you will become one among them. So she advises the readers and those who read this poem not to enter this complaining street or not to be this grumbling family. From wandering into complaining street, keep away your feet. That means you should not move into that complaining street. You keep away from that place and never to grovel whatever we do, lest we mistaken for grumblers too. So if we start going inside that complaining street and if we say anything, people will call us, you belong to that grumbling family. So the poetess says it is better we keep away from that family. Let us learn to walk with it. The last stanza is a very beautiful stanza. The poet says here, after giving all the wrong idea, after we see all the wrong attitude of these people, the last stanza gives the brighter side of the poem. Let us learn to walk with a smile and a song. Here the first line is very beautiful. Let us learn, we have to learn how to walk with a smile on our face and a song in our heart. That will keep us very healthy. A person who owns lot of wealth, everything in the world, if he doesn't have the inner peace, that wealth is just a dust for him. If he cannot keep himself at peace, he can never be happy. His whole life is a ruin. That's all we can, that we can understand very clearly. So the first line, the poet, whether we are poor, whether we are rich, whether we are moderate, have a smile on your face and a song, a happiness and inner peace in your heart that will take us to the happy land where we are going to land. That happiness the life needs. Everyone needs a happy life. Though we may have worries, we may be facing lot of stress, but even then the poetess is telling, have a smile on your face. Forget your worries. Forget everything and have a smile and keep your heart as happy. Keep yourself very cheerful. Keep yourself very joyful. That will keep the day happy. You will forget all your worries. If you are going to be gloomy and glum, it will make you very sick. That is what the poetess wants to stress the readers. Always have a smile on your face and a song in your heart. No matter if things do sometimes go wrong. Naturally, if we are a human being, things may not go right. If things go wrong also, here the poet, even if things go wrong, if it is not on the right path, and then be our station higher, whether we are poor or rich, doesn't matter. We'll never belong to the family. Never become a family of grumblers. We should never start grumbling. God has given a life, a beautiful life to live in. Man has so many worries, sadness, stress, frustration, all this we have. No man is happy, but even then the poetess is stressing that we should keep our life going on by having a smile on our face and a song in our heart, where we can develop an inner peace and joy forever. Now, you see here, now I am going to give the rhyme scheme of the poem. The last two lines are meet, last two words, meet, street. Meet and street, that rhymes together, that is AA. Satisfied beside is BB. This amiss, AA. Humble, grumble, BB. Cold, scold, AA. Meet, street, BB. Sun, done, AA. Doubt, about, BB. Same, name, AA. He, she, BB. Stays, weighs, AA. Jumble, grumble, BB. Feet, street, AA. Do, to, BB. Song, wrong, AA. Humble, grumble, BB. So, the whole poem, the rhyme scheme for the whole poem is, I have written here on the board, AABB. The first poem we saw, we have a difference in the first poem, life. But here this poem, you can keep this very clearly in your mind. The Grumble family has a rhyme scheme as such, AABB. Now we come to the poetic devices. What are the figures of speech? That is what I wanted to tell you very clearly. The figures of speech in this poem is only two. That is, one is epithet. That is the figure of speech applied here in this poem. Anaphora, I will explain this epithet. What is epithet? Epithet is nothing but a word in grammar known as adjective. In figures of speech, for the poetic devices and figures of speech, they have changed that adjective into epithet. Since it is a poem, we cannot use adjective here. Instead of adjective, we have to use epithet. Why I say epithet means complaining. This is what they say, complaining street is noun. What kind of street? Complaining street. So, naturally in grammar it is known as adjective. Since it is a poem, it is known as epithet. So, the complaining street is epithet. The figure of speech here is epithet. The next one is anaphora. The words are repeated. Repetition of the word in one line is known as anaphora. That is one kind of figure of speech we learn in this particular poem. These two figures of speech are new to you. All this we know, simile, metaphor, alliteration, personification, all these we are able to understand. They are the regular poetic devices, figures of speech we come across. But here these two figures of speech are introduced in this particular poem, epithet and anaphora. Get into your mind, it should go into your mind. Epithet is complaining street, anaphora is in that one particular line you have the growl and growl. These two words this word is repeated once again in that line, that is known as anaphora or repetition. So, the two figures of speech you learn in this poem is epithet and anaphora. Now, we come here to this side. The rhyming words I already told you, these are the rhyming words, and then we go to the alliteration. Growl, first letter G, first letter G. High, H and H. Yes and yes. Long and learn. Smile and song. These are the alliterated words you find in this particular poem. I hope you understood the poem very clearly, and now we go on to the appreciation of the poem here. There is a family nobody likes to meet. They live, it is said, on complaining street. Those two lines are given, and after that you have the questions followed by. Where does the family live? You can very well understand the answer is in the question itself. They live on complaining street. You have to write, they live on complaining street. Why do you think the street is named as complaining street? Here this family is because there is a family which is always complaining. This particular family is always complaining, that is why they say this street is a complaining street. They growl at that, they growl at this. Whatever comes, there is something amiss. What does the word growl means here? Understand the word growl here means grumble. Understand the meaning? Growl is grumble. The meaning for growl is grumble. Grumble, always finding fault, finding something wrong is known as grumble. Why do they find everything amiss? They are not satisfied, or neither they need a contented life, satisfied life. They are not satisfied with anything. Neither they are satisfied with whatever they do. So, this particular, they find everything wrong here because they are not satisfied or contented with anything they do. Nothing goes right with the folks you meet down on that gloomy complaining street. What is the opinion about the folks you meet down the street? You have to take the answer from the question itself. The folks I meet down the street are always complaining. Some trouble or something goes wrong with that family. So, that is the opinion I meet here with these folks. What does the word gloomy mean? Depressing. Very depressing. Gloomy means very depressing. That is the word for gloomy. Now we go on to the next one. The worst thing is that if anyone stays among them too long, he will learn that. What is the worst thing that can happen if anyone stays with them? If anyone stays too long with them, they will inherit the quality of the grumbling family. That is what the poetess says. If you are going to stay with that family too long, you will take the qualities of that grumbling family and you will become one of them, she says. What are the ways of the grumble family? They growl at anything, whatever, everything they see, whatever they do. So that is why these are the ways of the grumble family. And so it were wisest to keep our feet from wandering into complaining street. What is the wisest thing that the poet said? It is to move away from such complaining street. What does the phrase to keep our feet? Restrict your path. That means you should never enter that complaining. Restrict your path. You should not enter that complaining street. Let us learn to walk with a smile and a song, no matter if things do sometimes go wrong. What does the poet expect everyone to learn? To learn to walk with a smile and a song in your heart. That is what the poet wants to say. What should we do when things go wrong sometimes? When things go wrong, we need to feel happy and cheerful. When things go wrong, definitely sometimes the things will go wrong. Even at that crucial and critical time, we should feel happy and cheerful. We should never allow depression or gloominess to take over us. That will spoil our health and we will have a miserable life. That is what the poetess wants to say. Now in this particular poem, we have seen two figures of speech, anaphora and epithet. Now you have to understand the first one is grumble family is an epithet. Complaining family is an epithet. Two comes under the figures of speech and the next one is growl, and growl is an anaphora. Now we don't have the short answers here. We have the paragraph answers, appreciation. First they will give you 4 lines and they'll ask you to do the rhyme scheme. Then afterwards they give another 4 lines and they will ask you to pick out the rhyming words. And then they will give you 4 lines where you have to do the alliteration, and they will give 2 lines and they will ask you to pick out the figures of speech. And finally you have a paragraph answer for 5 marks. So you have to prepare Life and Grumble Family 2 paragraphs thoroughly. Life is a memory poem. Every day you have to memorize 4 lines and keep in touch with the poem. Now you go through this poem by yourself so that you can understand what is in this poem, what is the moral taught by the poetess here. That is what we see here. Now I finish the second poem here. The homework for you today is memory poem and the appreciation of the Grumble family.